Hello, got another lesson for you. Today we are continuing our talk about texture with preschool. And so I got these rubbing plates. There's all different ones that you can get. These are optical illusion ones. They're made by Royal Co. I'm not promoting stuff. That's just what I happen to have and have used in the past. So we put a paper over the texture, and then had the student just fill the page with different textures. And you can actually twist this, maybe use a different color, and then your color mixing. So it serves the purpose of texture and color mixing, really. And so the student uses different ones to discover the textures, and we filled the whole page. So this is going to relate to a unit on fossils, which seems to be fascinating for my little preschoolers. I'm going to demonstrate with these paints. Can you see them? Yes. And also would recommend these. I taught art for 12 years, so these are the things that I found that I liked the best, with some great advice from a sales rep. So these are prong or prang. I don't like, these are not washable. I don't like washable colors, usually aren't that great. You can get them with just the primary and secondary colors, but I like having I don't know what they're called. Sometimes they call them tertiary, but sometimes tertiary is something else. So at any rate, what you're going to do is put a little water. You can also use liquid watercolors, but be sure to dilute enough, because we had a little bit of a problem with the texture, with the pleasure of the paint, the texture disappearing. So there, we just are going to paint the whole surface. Yet another opportunity for some color mixing and some instruction on rinse your brush, and tap off some of the water. Instruction on properly using watercolors. I can't remember if I said this before, but little guys love to go up and down, and it really makes a mess, so we don't do that. And we always run out of yellow, so you can buy just a whole pack of yellows, which I used to do at the beginning of the year. So there you go. So then next week, what we're going to do is cut these out into shapes, and maybe hide them in a dark place and get a flashlight and discover them. And we're going to draw on sandpaper as well, because we're doing a unit on cave painting and paleontology. I have some notes. Triangle crayons work really well. Don't use new crayons. I wouldn't, because it's so disappointing because of the tips. And for little guys, it's hard for them to use the right pressure to get the impression. And they also, I don't think they can scribble. It would be more of a scribble that's going to go like this. Plus you'll ruin your nice new crayons. So what we do is take old crayons and peel them. But there are triangle crayons that don't roll, and they have a nice surface for doing texture drawing if you want to do that. It's fun as a follow-up to do, I'm going to use my new crayon to show you, but to do black and white. White is really fun. So sometimes with little guys, I would use light gray paper so that they can see the white, or a light tan, something like that. But you don't have to, but sometimes not seeing it is hard for them, and then you would just go over it, and it's like magic. So probably next week we'll follow up with some of that, and then we're going to draw on sandpaper, and we're going to cut out shapes to make our own fossils that are going to be hung in a dark place, and we're going to take a flashlight and discover them, because I found this very fun book about a woman hero, Mary Leakey. And it goes on to talk about how she went to Africa. Our students are learning the continents, so that kind of was tied in nicely with what they were learning in their classrooms. Another follow-up is to have your students go around and find textures. So, bark from trees works great. I tried bubble wrap, but the bubble wrap, there wasn't enough it wasn't hard enough of a surface to work. And go around the house and find textures if you're homeschooling. So we really enjoyed this book. Next week we're going to read a book about cave painting, and we're going to make some fossils. So I hope this is helpful to y'all if you're homeschooling or teachers. God bless you. What a great calling. Oh, and our students in their color mixing made up their own color, and so we had them name their color. So one name was Mingbo. So then I said, well, draw a Mingbo tree. What does a Mingbo tree look like? Or where does Mingbo come from? Or how do you make Mingbo the color? We tried, these are my notes, we tried sponge brushes. They take up too much paint and they're too hard to wring out, and they make the water really muddy. So try diluting your colors well. Use the side of a crayon. I love liquid watercolors, and I would dilute them a little bit, or you could use the watercolors in the pans. I think that's it. Have fun. Ciao.